All right, we should be live. We should be live. Today is a masterclass on how to sell beats because you guys keep asking how to sell beats. And if you wonder what these alien-like headphones are, these are Audeze MM500s. These are the best things I've ever heard in my life when it comes to headphones. Sennheiser sound like paper compared to these. So I want to say what's up to the YouTube. Let me make sure this connection's good. Hundreds. These are the all right. So for those, we're going to answer a lot of objections today. We're going to go through a lot of sales training because I want you guys to get sharper at sales. I think people get better at music production. That's great, but you guys have to understand how to sell your vision to somebody else. Selling just means persuasion. What is persuasion? It's when you suggest something enough for somebody to make up their own mind about a conclusion so that they take action or change a reality. That's a simple way to think about it. Mill Pro is here. What's up? YB Music. What's going on? So today's presentation, I'm still working on the lighting. As you can see, I moved the studio to a different room. So I'm working on the lighting still. I have lights behind me. I don't have my remote on me actually, but we don't need the lights behind me right now. I'm still working on a key light. I'll figure out what I want to do with the key light. So again, today's live stream is all about how to sell beats. I'm going to be answering objections. There's a ton of objections people have. So firstly, let's talk about the objections. What's up, Sergio? First objection you're going to hear about BusyWorks Beats. BusyWorks Beats doesn't sell beats. He doesn't know what he's talking about when he's talking about how to sell beats. He's not sold any beats. And the first thing you understand about business building is that even if somebody's not in your niche, you learn from them. So for example, I learned marketing from somebody who was in a whole different space from me. What's up, Russell James? Mr. Rocksky is here. I learned selling from somebody who had a whole different business model than me. You learn marketing and business building from other industries, and that's how you know it's a solid business plan or a solid education because it works not only in beat selling, not only in this specific niche, it works over here as well. And what's up, Gordy? You're the GOAT. You got me in the beat making, bro. Thank you. And there's a lot of producers that I've trained who have gone to work with, again, I've trained over 1 million producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, YG, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, J. Cole. I said French Montana already. YG, if I didn't already say that. And a ton of other artists that I can't even remember. There's so many. So when you ask me how to sell beats, and I've trained the people who have gone on to sell beats to the top artists in the world, you should look at the actual concrete data and facts when you hear people talk stuff about BusyWorks Beats. Let's talk about the facts. What's up, Roller 8? High Optics is here. Okay, so again, you learn selling from people who know how to sell. If that person can't sell a jet, can't sell, beats, sell perfume, sell jewelry, maybe they don't understand the art of selling. Selling is not about the thing. Selling is a craft unto itself. So when I'm asked how to sell beats, selling is a craft unto itself. Beats is a craft unto itself. I teach you how to make beats on our premium site. If you go to busyworksbeats.com/premium, show you how to make beats like the pros. We train people who've literally worked with the world's greatest artists in the world. Okay. You guys can look at the Metro Boomin shout outs, Illmind shout out. Let me go to my Instagram actually, because I have a whole reel of testimonials that I need to shout out more. It's getting a little dark out, so hopefully we have enough light for this camera. What's up, Juan? Let me switch screens real fast. So if you guys want to learn more about BusyWorks Beats, maybe you're new and you just don't know enough about me, that's fine. A lot of people are new. So go to my Instagram, go to BusyWorks Beats. First thing you want to do is check the followers, and then not the follower count, but when you click on followers, it will say mutual. So when you go to my Instagram, look at how many mutual people follow me. That will help you understand how I help people or try to help people. I try to put people before myself, serve people, and then they, in return, show respect and different things. And so if you go to my testimonial reels, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 testimonial reels specifically for testimonials. Okay, so if you click here, I'll just go through a couple because I don't want to go through everything right now. Hopefully this even loads. Facebook's been a little weird with the loading time today. So hopefully this works. Let's refresh. Worst case, you can do it yourself. Okay. So Superstar O shouts me out here for those who don't know. There's Sound Oracle, Trizza from Unquantized Podcast. We have How to Rap Drew, Kyle Beats, Illmind on Blapchat. Thank you for that. We have folks who showed up to our Philly seminar. Shout out to them. I'm going to skip through a lot of these. I don't have the sound on, but you guys can go. What's up, Rio Sound says, hey, bro. What's up? So that was a Philly seminar we had about recording and beat making. All right, there's a lot of clips from there. Let's keep going. So this is our West Coast seminar we had. And who's this here? I'm Dante. This is when I got my own song and my own video up to 1 million views via, shout out to I'm Dante. We did a collaboration, and one of my music videos is in this video. So when people tell me I don't have streams on Spotify, as if that's the only measure stick. When people tell me I haven't sold beats, but I've trained some of the world's top producers in the world on how to sell to the highest artists in the world. You know, you guys got to just look at the facts. A lot of these guys that are trying to convince you against Busyworks Beats are just envious. They want to be me, and they would rather just talk crap, try to pull us down than to help and build. I've public spoken, if that's even a phrase, with Universal Audio. Here's Young Chambers. Literally, I think at the time of this video, he was before anything. He literally was just high schooler in his bedroom. He flew to LA one time, and I introduced him to Diego Ave. After that moment, I said, Diego, this kid has that DNA. After that moment, Young Chambers went on to get Billboard #1 plaques, work with the top artists in the world, 21 Savage, KSI, so many artists that I'm forgetting. I want to say Future, but I'm not sure about that. And he's literally a living testimonial, breathing testimonial of a before and after. He literally was watching YouTube, found out a couple tutorials, ran with the information, applied it. I introduced him to somebody in LA. He ran with that, got placements on placements on placements on placements on placements. And now he has his own YouTube where he teaches his technique and his music production skills to y'all. So his name is Chambers. So that's probably the perfect example of somebody who applied all this knowledge and he had a high desire. That's the main thing. His desire was extremely high. He was young, and his dad flew him out to LA, and his dad was with him. So his dad is very supportive in his vision too. And his dreams came true. Lifestyle did it. Shout out to Lifestyle. So again, there's so many reels on here that I had to have 4 highlight reels. Okay, just showing you guys how many testimonials are out there. So that's something that you guys need to understand is that, whoops, wrong cam, hold up. Sales is about having results. What up, Bullyfinger? Sales is about having results. So if you're trying to sell somebody, the best thing you could do is have results and show them the results first. Before you try to convince them and do all this stuff, have results and then show them the results. That's a sales process. And a lot of folks who want to sell beats, they don't have results. And so you're trying to show somebody to believe in you when you don't even have the results that you promise. And that's the issue that happens most of the time. Ataki is here. Youngin Squad, what's up? So everybody watching the replay, hopefully you guys get a lot of game. Let me show you guys some more, not testimonials, but more credentials. That's the word. So, a lot of people try to bash me for whatever reason. I don't understand why. Maybe they're just jealous or envious. So here is, for those who don't know, Facebook marketing was huge back in 2016. So I tried to download the entire report. Facebook broke. It just wouldn't download it. So I have to manually go through and do this for you. So I was getting tired of scrolling down, to be honest with y'all. I would show you all my records from way back in 2014 when I first started advertising. I think it was 2015. What's up, Think Inc.? So the numbers were different then. But if you look at the Facebook ads, if I'm talking about ads, it's because I've spent money on ads. I've gone through the iterations. I found out the mistakes I made. So I wouldn't give you information about ads if I didn't run my own ads. Pardon me. But the biggest mistake I see when it comes to selling beats is that you have to have ads, and that's not the case. Jeremy Kendrick, what's up? Think of it this way. Ads are like, you ever play Need for Speed? Ads are basically like the nitrous. So let's say you're going 0 to 60. You're not going to use your nitrous unless you want to go faster to 0 to 60. Then you go from 60 to 90 Need for Speed. So you're still flying by, but you don't need your nitrous yet. Then you go to 90 to 100 and your car just starts shaking on Need for Speed. It hits a wall. Now, once you hit that wall, then you want to scale, because scaling is going to give you the force you need to keep pushing further and further into 120, 150 miles an hour. You could use your nitrous up from 0 to 150, but you'd burn up your entire nitrous. For those who play Need for Speed Underground 2, you only had a limited amount of nitrous. And if you used it, you wouldn't be able to get to your highest miles per hour. So a lot of people think you could buy your way into success in business right away, selling beats. They just buy in ads and it solves all your problems. The problem is that's great, but you will run out of nitrous by the time you get to 70 miles an hour. Now you're just stuck from 70 and your maximum is 90. Okay, because you used up your nitrous too early. Okay, so what I'm saying is, metaphorically speaking, is 0 to, what did I say, 90 or 100 miles an hour on Need for Speed is like organic marketing. Your organic marketing should take you from 0 to 100. Your nitrous or your advertising dollars should take you from 100 to 150. That's the way you should think about ads. Okay. A lot of people thinking that money solves problems. It doesn't. Jeremy, what's up? It actually creates problems. Green Bay, what's up? Came here by chance. I'm lucky today. Shout out to you. Produced by VVD. Finally, I got my camera so I could finally have these conversations about your projects and everything. So hopefully VVD pops on along with this collective. These guys they're a living another testimonial about the AI technologies and applying that technology. They created an AI Travis Scott album that has what, 250,000. Last time I checked, it was like 250,000 plays on it. And it's insane. So they applied the knowledge and got the results. Bro has the best comparisons, I swear. Michael Jones, killing it, G. Thank you. KB Creatives, aspiring producers, let's collab. Join our Discord if you want to collab. Join our Discord. It's completely free. We actually just started a remix contest, and we basically found the next Michael Jackson. So if you guys want to hop in on that remix contest and potentially get a record with one of the artists who I think is a gold, like it's like finding a piece of gold. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to his producer Sajai. And man, we're just gonna create magic. So just join us in the Discord. That's where you guys can network and do all that stuff. Thank you, DJ Paleface says hit the like button. Who's getting beats on the low for $2? That's my question. Sign me up. Who's getting beats on the low for $2? Are you an artist? Produced by VVD said their project went on to get 2 million plays on Spotify, probably around 6 to 7 million on all platforms. So if you guys want a real testimony about using AI, but not in an evil way, he's the living example. So we're going to have them on once I get this key light. I just need one more light, VVD. I need to figure out my key light situation. And, well, I guess the plaque is irrelevant, but so I just got to figure out the key light. So if you guys hear my son in the background, my bad. I moved rooms, my studio room, so I'm a lot closer to him. Oistry Beats is here. All right, so you guys can see my screen right here. So if you counted up all of the marketing ads that I've ever bought, it's over $400,000. I want to say over 440,000, at least on the minimum. That's spent over years of time, not in a month, not in a year, years of time. Now, this is also back when Facebook didn't have as much competition. So here's a subtle lesson you won't learn until way later in life, is that everybody can teach you a method. And I think some of the people who have objections and hate against BusyWorks Beats have a point, because they're like, he's just teaching you how to do something that everybody else is doing, which is, I get it. But if you don't put your cleats on to run the race, you're not going to be able to finish the race if you don't even put your cleats on. So I'm just showing a lot of people how to get started. Of course, the way you go about running that race is going to be different over time. You're not going to sprint a marathon. You're going to collapse. Okay. Geek is here. Any tips on how to promote beats on YouTube? We're going to get into that in a second. The Music by Reef. What's up, Busy? Love your page. Great tips and knowledge. Just dropped the beat playlist on my channel. Check it out when you can. Tomorrow, we're going to go live for feedback. So finally, we're going to bring feedback back on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So join us on Discord by Reef so that we can potentially play your track tomorrow. Fastlane says, what's up, legend? Do you know what snare is used in Megan's Hiss song? Or this song? I don't actually. All right, so my point is, I'm showing you credentials so that you guys can banish those myths that you hear from all these other YouTubers and people talking crap because they're just talking crap because they don't have anything else to do. Let's be honest. Okay, so you can scroll through. Look, January 2017, 500. It's built. Let's count this up. Okay, so 500. So that's 1,000. Let me go all the way back. So January 1st. This is just 2017. When I used to spend a ton of money on Facebook ads. Now I don't spend a lot of money on Facebook at all because the arbitrage or the advantage of spending money on Facebook is not there anymore because all the institutional money came into Facebook. And now if you want to bid for a keyword, you have to beat out Sears. You have to beat out Full Sail, who has funding and crowd raising and all these other ways of getting money. So it's not the best playing field for somebody like you guys. So will ads solve all your problems? No, it depends on the ad platform. It depends on the competition. The same way, do certain keywords help you? Maybe, until competition comes into play. And so I'm going to go through all this stuff. So as long as you guys hit the like button, I promise to give you at least a new paradigm about how to sell beats online. So that's all I ask, is just a like button, because we're about to get into it. So I personally spent my own money on Facebook ads, over 440 something thousand, I think. in total. I forget the exact number. It won't let me download the report. So we're on the website directly. So this is 1,000. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're only halfway in January 2017. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, almost $17,000 on ad spend in January of 2017. Now, let me give you guys caveats. One, like I said, the need for speed analogy. You think you need to spend money right away to make money. No. In fact, you might lose money. So think of it like Need for Speed. You need to be able to drive your car from 0 to 60, 0 to 100. That's called organic marketing. That's called organic content creation. That's where you want to be first, before you hit the nitrous oxide to get you from 100 to 150. The problem with organic is you can go from 0 to 100, but you'll stay stuck at 100 because there's a governor, there's a built-in algorithm to keep you stuck so that you go and buy ads to scale, to be seen by everybody. Okay, because the thing about ads is that you're guaranteed to be seen by somebody. The difference in organic is that you have to hope somebody shares your content, or you hope that you fit in one of the algorithms for discovery. And that's what a lot of people are playing, is a lottery game when it comes to being discovered. But the difference in ads is that you will be seen by everybody. You're not hidden by the algorithm. And that's not the algorithm's fault. The algorithm is to serve stuff that people want to see. It's not to be serving random things. So it's not their fault. But it's the business model of the platforms to get you to drive your car, metaphorically, up to 100, okay, which is your business, and then get stuck. So that by that time you have the cash or whatever you need to then buy it on ads to take it from 100 to 150. And that's how these companies, that's how Zuckerberg made billions of dollars overnight, because he gets ad revenue. So, okay, I think everybody's in the house. It's time to get started. So here's the first question I have for folks. Let me switch cameras real quick. The first question I have for y'all is, what is a beat? I want you guys to define what a beat is in the comments real quick. I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to give you a bigger definition to what a beat actually is. Okay. And I'm going to read your comments in the meantime. Where do you post the beats so people can buy it? There is no one place. So get that out of your brain. What do you think about BeatStars Promote? I think I'll show you guys what promotion means versus sales versus marketing versus advertising. 4 different concepts. Okay, 4 completely different concepts. Actually, let me define it right now before we get started. Let me just educate you guys real quick. Promotion is the only goal, I should say, for promotion is to be seen by people. Like I said, most platforms are built to customize the feed experience to the behaviors of that specific user. So if they see everything in their feed, it's considered distraction or considered junk. So what do these platforms offer? They'll sacrifice a little bit of that frustration by allowing you to pay to be in front of that person, even though that person didn't desire to see you in their feed. And so that's called advertising, interruption-based advertising. Okay. And the only goal of that is to just be seen. That's it. So when you guys talk about promotion, your goal is to be seen by people, to get the view count up or to get your reach up. That's it. It's not money. It's not association. It's not anything. It's simply to be seen. The difference is market value is like the y-axis. So promotion, runs on what's called the x-axis of time. Okay, promotions happen over time. Okay, marketing value is the y-axis. Let's say your beats currently are seen as a $20 commodity. And the number one thing you don't want to be is a commodity, because the problem with commodities, meaning you're running the mill product or something that's seen as easily obtainable. The problem with commodities is that commodities are bunched and the price is based on supply and demand. Okay, so if you bring in more competitors, and this is what a lot of people have comments about, which is partly true, but you have to understand the bigger part of business to understand this. The more competitors you have on YouTube, BeatStars, whatever the platform is, Spotify, the more producers you have, the more competition you have. If you're creating what's called a commodity. A commodity is seen as something that's not differentiated between this thing and that thing. And that's what most people are creating, are commodities, because they don't understand how to differentiate and create contrast within the market. And that's not only the sound of the beat. It's not what instrument you choose. It's the marketing. It's the approach. It's the storytelling around the beat. What separates Magic the Gathering from Yu-Gi-Oh? The story. What separates Pokemon cards from Yu-Gi-Oh cards? The story. They're technically the same piece of cardboard printed with holographic stuff on top with print text on it. It's the same technical thing, but they're completely different. It's not that the art for Pokemon is better than Yu-Gi-Oh. It's not that Magic the Gathering's art is worse than or better than. Some people could argue that, but the differentiate is not the product. It's the marketing, the presentation around the product. That's the differentiate. That's the contrast builder. And this is where a lot of producers are not spending time, because we think that if we just upload the product, aka the beat, aka seen as a commodity, to the YouTube algorithm, which you have millions of competitors around the world, you're just putting an apple in a market that has 32 million apples. You can't sell your apple for $300 when somebody could buy another apple for $3. Okay, it's always going to be based on the market's consensus about value. Okay, and it's all about supply and demand if you sell commodities. Now, if you don't sell a commodity, you differentiate, you contrast from the market. That's why Purple Cow by Seth Godin, it's there's another book called Hook. What was it called? Hook Point, if I'm not mistaken. Mainly, anytime you see a cover with a red umbrella sticking out from black umbrellas, or you see like a yellow thing next to a black background to stand out, that's called contrast. They're trying to get you to understand the point of all this is to contrast. Okay, so my point is, promotion is the x-axis. It requires time. Marketing is the y-axis. How do you take your $3 thing and make it seen as a $300 thing? And that's through what's called brand association. That's what's called through problem solving, showing people that your thing can lead them to the desired outcomes of what are the desired outcomes people buy. Social status, they buy wealth, they buy the potential to mate, aka longevity or survival. Okay, if you want to call it fitness, even if you're talking genetic fitness, they buy, I already said social status, they buy mastery. Okay, these are the things people buy. Fitness, aka genes, fitness of your genes, meaning survival, meaning mating, meaning progenitors, okay, meaning progeny, pardon me. Okay, they buy social status. How does your thing give them a higher social status? Or how does your thing reflect social status? If they buy your thing, will they lower their social status? Then they're probably not going to buy your thing. Nextly is wealth. People want wealth. Let me ask you guys this question. When you buy an advertisement, what are you truly buying? An ad is not a physical thing. It's a digital concept. You don't even get anything in your email when you buy an ad. It's technically an invisible idea is an advertisement. What you're buying with the ad is the results of wealth most of the time. So you're not buying the ad. The ad is a middleman to get you to what you actually want, which is wealth. So people are buying wealth when they're buying ads. You have to ask when you're selling your beats, what are people truly buying? And let me see what you guys wrote as what you think a beat actually is. So what do you think people are coming to your website to actually buy when you sell beats? Let's see what you guys said. A composition. How much does you sell each beat for? That we cannot discuss because that's called price setting, and that is completely illegal. But at the end of the day, I could tell you, DL, to sell your beats for $500. If you don't believe in your own, if you don't have what's called conviction to believe to raise your prices that high, it doesn't matter if I tell you to sell your beats at $2,000 or $5,000. You're not going to charge that. You're always going to undercut because your subconscious self-image is going to not reflect accepting that. You have to. There's a song called "Father Stretch My Hands," and most people think that means, like by Kanye, means to stretch your hands like this. It means to literally stretch your hand, like your physical hand, so that you can receive more. And a lot of us subconsciously do not have that stretching of our invisible, like our self-image hand to where we can receive. We're always tight-fisted, don't want to give because we think it's going to, affect our survival. So my point is, even if I tell you to sell a beat for $2,000, if your hands aren't metaphorically stretched to receive $2,000, you're not going to receive that. And it's not going to reflect in your reality. So it doesn't matter what I tell you to sell a beat for. And that's why I'm having this live stream, is because there are great YouTubers out there sharing their techniques. There are people talking about my name and saying that I don't know how to teach and know how to, I don't have the experience, whatever it is their objection is. And I'm sitting here teaching you guys that it's way deeper than this. I could teach you how to hunt ducks, okay? With the little, okay? But when it's time to hunt a deer, you can't go, the deer's just not even going to recognize that as a resonant point. So to learn sales, you have to learn how to sell in multiple industries. I've sold in jewelry, healthcare, music business. I've sold in fitness, film. What else? What other industries have I been in? Let me think. Affiliate marketing, marketing, public speaking. Okay, live events I've done. So in consultations and as well. So when people tell me I haven't, once you realize that business is the same in each industry, it just changes the different pieces that you're playing with. That's all it is. So the same with selling. Selling is a craft unto itself. Beat making is a craft unto itself. You have to understand the craft of selling. It's not about selling a beat. It's about selling in general. And we're going to get into it today. So nextly, Clutch says a composition is what a beat is. Sensei says it's an intellectual property. Puff says that a beat is the gateway for artists to tell their stories. Fastlane says it's crazy how time flies. Watching your videos back in 2015, how to create slow tape effect. Shout out to you. All right. So Geek says a beat is a collection of instruments that makes a collective sound. Now you guys are giving me the definition of the product of a beat, but you're not giving me the definition of what your customer is buying. Your customer is not going to you because you've created a collection of instruments. Your customer is not coming to you because you've created intellectual property. Maybe a publishing company would come to you because you have intellectual property. Maybe a record label will come to you because you have an intellectual property. These aren't the reasons why the people you're trying to sell to are coming to you. They're not buying these things. And that's the fundamental reason why you're not selling it, is because you're selling the wrong thing. If I try to sell an orange to a person who wants an apple, you think they're going to buy my orange just because it's a fruit? No, they're going to say, I want an apple. So even though your thing is a fruit, metaphorically speaking, it's about how you present it to the person to let them understand that it can be an apple. I know genetically speaking, that doesn't make sense, but metaphorically speaking, it's a fruit that you're trying to sell. And you need to articulate and communicate how your fruit will lead them to a desired outcome, or how your fruit is what they're actually looking for. So the mismatch is not the products you guys are building. It's the communication of the products that you're building. Okay. No one wants to buy or PayPal for a beat. Also, you guys have to understand there's market demand and there's market supply. So you can have 2 million producers making beats and only 1.1 million who want beats. So if you're trying to fight for the 1.1 million, understand that there's 2 million people trying to sell beats, or understand that, there's just not a big enough need, and not for the beat. Again, you're not selling beats. What are you selling? You're selling desired outcomes, a desired outcome of health or fitness of genes, a desired outcome of social status, a desired outcome of wealth, a desired outcome of mastery. What are you selling to people? Okay, because at the end of the day, your supply and your demand doesn't matter if you're selling that person to the desired outcome. Okay, for example, what separates Metro Boomin from Murder Beats from you at home? The difference is that Murder Beats is a DJ and producer. He's worked with Amigos and some of the top artists in the world. He has a brand. Okay, the brand is what differentiates Murder Beats from everybody else. So when people work with Murder Beats, it's not because he knows how to make a beat. Yeah, that might be true. It's not because his track record is hits. Yeah, that might be true. It's because he has a brand association that they're buying into. And what is the desired outcome of that? Social status most of the time. Okay. And wealth secondly, because they know they can flip a Murder Beats beat into touring, into more collabs, into more money, different ways, whether it's whatever their means of getting money is. So they're buying to flip. Okay. The same way you buy loops to flip them into beats, people are buying your beats to flip them into songs. That's a wealth motivation. Okay. Because they're buying to flip. I'm spending $1 to get 4. So if you're spending $1 to get 4, that means that there's a potential to get $4. So what you charge is a percentage of the difference. So if they spend currently $1 on your beat, I'm just saying $1, so it's easy, and they make 4 back, you can charge up to a threshold. And how do we determine this threshold? Let me go back to regular cam because this screen is a little small. So how do we go back to how do we understand where price is? So example, you sell a beat for $1, artist makes $4. Okay, you increase your price. You now sell your beat for $2. Artist still makes $4. You sell your beats for $3. Artist still makes $4. Sorry, my camera is a little dark. I don't have any lights in here just yet, or any key lights in here. So you sell it for $3. Artist still makes $4. There's a point where the artist will say no to the price because they don't have enough what's called margin or difference in the price versus the return on investment. And this is what you need to understand. There's a psychological study done. I'll be short about it because it's quite long. The psychological study says this: if I give you $100, if I give person A $100, And here's person B. Now, person A has the $100. They can choose how much money they want to give to person B. So person A has the 100. They give person B 50. Person B says, great, 50 is good for me. Oh, here's the part I forgot. If person B rejects the offer, they both get 0. So person A says, here's $100. Person B receives 50. They both take away 50. Deal done. They shake their hands. They walk away. That's called deal. Okay, now person A has $100. They give person B, let's say $10. Now they keep 90 and person B takes 10. And person B says no. They kill the deal because they didn't get enough equity or margin on the deal. And that happens in price as well. So you have to understand what is the return on investment for your artist. That's the reason why labels, you could charge a label or a big artist a lot more than you could charge an independent artist because they actually have a greater return on investment than an independent artist. You could charge thousands of dollars to Future because Future's about to go on a show where he's getting $300,000 for the show. So that $3,000 beat, the $5,000 beat is his margin is from $3,000 to $207, to $300,000, which is what, $270,000, assuming, before cost of the actual venue. And even that's a cost that they're looking at return on investment on. My point is, when you guys are setting your price, you have to acknowledge the actual end goal for that specific artist. It's not always a wealth motivation, but if the motivation is wealth, if they're buying your beat to flip it into a song to make more money, then in that case, your price has to directly reflect as to what's the return on investment. And you have to make that clear in your marketing. You spend this $50 here, you can get X, Y, and Z streams, and now that is worth X, Y, and Z. You have to clearly demonstrate how your thing will multiply their money if your customer is wealth motivated. Not everybody's wealth motivated. Most artists are actually social status motivated. And this is where you can actually take key. So if you guys are paying attention, I just gave you a major key. So here's the key. Here's another key, I should say, is that other people are social status driven. So when you're selling your beats, think about how you can raise that person's perceived social value. That is, there's many different ways: associating luxury brands with them, putting them near other people who have social status or following, putting them in distribution or somewhere where it's already, traffic going there. Other services you guys could offer, that's graphics, that's music video services, to make them look like luxury or make them raise their social status some type of way. Okay. Now that could be because you've worked with other artists, and because you've worked with those other artists, you could build your catalog of association. This is what separates Murder Beats from Metro from everybody else, is because Metro, when you work with Metro, you're not buying a beat, you're buying the association to Metro Boomin. That's why DJ Khaled is so huge. He's mastered the art of brand association. It's not about DJ Khaled's skill to make a beat. Okay, so if your customer is social status based, you need to make it very clear when they buy your thing, it will raise their social status. Again, how do you do that? You could take the Bricks approach. For those who understand Bricks, he sells more of a lifestyle. Okay, so you need to demonstrate how before somebody's worked with you, they were like this. And then after they've worked with you, they have a certain lifestyle, or whatever the things are. Like, for example, a watch is a subconscious symbol to men to establish value and dominance. It's just one of those subconscious things. For women, it might be the purse that another woman is wearing, or the heels that they're wearing, or the type of skin that they're showing. Like if they're showing their back, they may be seen as more confident. So you need to understand the different social status symbols, because that's what social status is. That man bought a Ferrari not because it could go 200 miles an hour, because the speed limit's 60. He bought the Ferrari because it's a social status symbol to attract a mate. And when he gets the mate, he will have progeny, potentially, to continue his genetics. In other words, he's buying the Ferrari to attract a woman. Hopefully that woman and him have a child. That child then continues his genetics. He's not buying the Ferrari. He's buying the other motivation that I talked about, which is fitness, of the genes, of survival. Okay, that's what he's actually buying. So that would be the third motivator. So again, as a quick recap, I know I'm talking fast, but I want to get through all for those who don't know, I actually got to tell a little backstory. I was a pre-med undergrad. For those who don't know, I studied biology for 4 years at a university level. Villanova University. I actually went on a science scholarship, and I was going to med school. I started the pre-med club. I was the president of the pre-med club and everything. And I just changed my mind at the last second. So when I say I've studied this stuff or I have an affinity about this stuff, it's because I've actually lived it. I've studied organic chemistry. I've studied biology. I've studied the magic of, histology, all these different things about life. And I realized how masterful life is built. And I applied that to the music business. I love music as well. So I was gifted the wisdom of life. I applied to music, and now I'm showing you all the keys and patterns that I've studied over time. So a lot of that was psychological, understanding people's psychology that goes behind sales. So I'm going to answer your questions real quick to make sure that I'm tapped in with you guys as we transition. But there's let me quickly go over the motivators. First motivator is wealth most of the time. When you buy a stock, are you buying a stock just because it's a piece of paper and you want to look at a piece? No, you're buying a stock because you think that your dollar is going to turn into 10. That's why you buy a stock. You're buying wealth. That's what you're buying, the idea of wealth, growth, I should say, expansion. The second motivator is social status. You're buying an expansion of your actual hierarchy or position in the social hierarchy. That's what a lot of people are buying when they buy beats. Thirdly, what people could buy is fitness. They might be making songs, R&B love songs, because they want to attract somebody to come to their live show to potentially create progeny with. That could be a motivation for your artist. You never know. So if that is the motivation, you need to communicate how your thing, your R&B beats, are very frequency tapped in to resonate with that specific motivation of the fan who would show up to a show and could potentially get that guy what he's looking for, which in that case is to continue his genetics. Now, the fourth motivator, there's another one, but it's slipping my mind for some reason. So the fourth motivator is mastery. Now, if an artist wants to be a master, we're talking the Lil Waynes of the world, the Eminems of the world, people who really take the craft serious, Kendrick, Drakes, those are masters. They do it way beyond just wealth. They do it because they want to be the master, the greatest at the game. And for those folks, you have to challenge them. Okay, so these are your Scorpios of the world. These are your Aries of the world. You have to challenge them. Okay, so Drake's a Scorpio, for example. Challenge them. Okay, and challenging them with your beats will be, hey, here's an open verse contest. Hop on this beat and show me that's a challenge, for example. Okay, so understand there's 4 different communication chains. There's more than that, but I'm going to keep it simple. And in order to understand how to communicate with your customer, you have to understand what are they truly buying with your beats? Which one of those 4 motivation chains are they actually tapping into? And then you reverse engineer and make sure that you're communicating that with your product. It's not just about the beat. It's about how do you communicate how your beat will take them from before to after their desired outcome. I have a whole book called The Producer Bible. If you guys want it, just go to busyworksbeats.com/book. It's completely for free. In short, I actually have another book called, hold on one sec. Here's the link. It's completely for free. I have another book called The Busy Signal. That one's about marketing and online business building. The Producer Bible is more about mindset and shifting your mindset. Okay, so if you go to busyworksbeats.com/book, you'll get both. Okay. In fact, I actually have to, let me think about that actually. Actually, don't go to that link. Go to Premium because I have go to this link. Don't go to that link. Go to busyworksbeats.com/premium because I've just added the entire download section to our website. So it's so much easier to find. So if you want to get those free downloads, just go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. It's actually the link I want you guys to go to. Okay, so let me read your comments real quick and then we'll go through my presentation today. So let me know if I've added value to you. Have I changed your perspective at least today? Or am I just sounding like an alien? Okay, Andre says, what are some artists you sold beats to? Again, going back to this objection, I work with brands. Let me ask you this. Who's a Drake placement to Drake? Drake wants to work with Adidas, Nike, Sprite. I say, I want to do the same thing. Why do I need Drake to work with Nike, Adidas, and Sprite? I consider myself an artist and producer. I want to go directly to the brands. I'm not going to wait on a middleman, aka an artist, to blow me up so I can talk to them. I work with $4 billion brands, starting with Avid, which is now $1 billion brand, Sweetwater, which is $1 billion brand, Razor Music. I was on their campaigns 2 to 3 years with Metro Boomin, Deadmau5. Who else was on there? Noisia, Anderson .Paak, Sunny Digital was on there. I keep forgetting Sunny, and Murder Beats. And I worked with a $1 billion company in Web3 called the Near Protocol. Okay, with my mentor Chris Moye at the time. So I've been work with $4 billion brands. I'm not chasing an artist who's going to chase the brands ultimately. Because if you're making a song, think about it. You make a loop. That loop hopefully gets picked up by an industry producer. That's what most people do, right? They make loops to hopefully get picked up by Lil Baby's producer. Lil Baby uses your loop. You now have a Lil Baby song. Now, Lil Baby gets paid by who? Who pays Lil Baby? The brands pay Lil Baby. So Lil Baby's trying to get brand sponsorships. He's trying to go on tour. He's trying to get deals with Nike and all these different things. That's who Lil Baby's going to. So I said, why do I need all these middle steps? Why don't I just start from here and get directly to where I'm trying to go? Like, go straight to the money. Why do you need all this middleman stuff? That's how I think. I'm an entrepreneur, so I think a little bit differently. But that's how I think about which artists. But also, even if you want to equate it to artists, look at our testimonials. We trained 1 million producers around the world. Some are going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, YG, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, J. Cole. There's a long list that I don't even have of people, of all the artists that they've worked with. Some have gone to win Grammys. Some have gone to win awards. The Grammy Awards happen. I have to recalculate who has Grammys and who doesn't, because a lot of folks got Grammys recently. So there's so many. So that's the answer, is my students have gone to work with the top people in the world. So I think about selling beats, you've sold to the top artists in the world. I think they understand the game. Okay. Let me answer your question. So what is the best way to apply that philosophy? I'm missing that context. As far as the four motivators, you need to ask your audience, what do you truly want when you're making this beat? What do you truly want? You need to dig down to what they actually want. There's 4 key motivations. Everybody's audience is different. That key motivation could be wealth. It could be fitness of genes, aka survival or mating. It could be status, social status, and it could be, what did I say, wealth? Did I already say wealth? And it could be mastery. So you have to figure that out. Most people who I serve, they want to be masters of the craft. I serve kings of the world. They've gone to work with the kings of the world: Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, YG, Lil Baby, Polo G, Trippie Redd, J. Cole. Those are kings. Like, I'm training kings to be better kings. So if I'm aiming for kings, they aim for mastery. They want to be the best. They want to tap into their potential. And they also want social status as well. And a lot of the kings who have businesses, they want wealth, because the whole purpose of a business is to make money. There's no business not making money that stays in business. That's called a charity. And you need to make money to be in business. So the goal of a business is to make money. So don't let people try to trick you online telling you that you shouldn't make money with your business. That is completely backwards. Okay, is this going to be put online? Yes, I'll save this to YouTube. And again, like I said, if you could take advice from whoever, a lot of people say, hey, I only listen to people who have done it. I just showed you all my students who have done it. But even if there's more conjecture, whatever the proper word would be, more objections about it, is this: somebody who sells beats at the highest level. They could sell online beats and be the best online beat seller. They don't know what got them there most of the time, to be honest with you guys. But secondly, consider them a duck hunter. They go, and they get a duck. Okay, they hunt a duck. That's great. They can hunt as many ducks as they want. But now they go into the real forest, the real jungle, where you have to be a real businessman and you have to really survive in the jungle. And now they go, crap, I have to eat. I'm not in a territory with ducks. How do I make money? Oh, I got to shoot a deer. Freak. I don't know how to hunt deer, because all I did was practice hunting ducks. And that's the problem that a lot of people have. They think that you learn niche by niche by niche. You got to zoom out and learn the practice of sales. That's what I'm going to teach you today, is how to sell, not how to sell this or that or that. You can replace those objects. Those are all products. Producer Bible is a must-have. Thank you. So basically, selling music to brands is better economically. What I'm saying is that I'm not telling you how to do it. My point is, I want to work with brands directly. Why do I need a middleman to do that? That was my point. But what about the satisfaction of getting top tier artists? See, your motivation, Andre, is not money in that case. You're not a wealth motivated person. You're a social status driven person. Okay. So that would be a complete perfect instance of the difference in your customer. Everybody's completely different. Some people want money. Some people want to be seen and recognized and loved by peers. That's a different motivation. So you're going to sell to them differently. You're going to position your promise to fulfill on that specific outcome. Hello, BusyWorks. If someone wants to buy out your file, how do you think I can sell it? You mean like buy the exclusive rights? Go to BeatStars. They have templates for you. They have templates for exclusives to protect you guys. What are some artists you sold? Okay. Reading your comments. Time and financial investment takes to create the final product. True. But nobody cares. When they're buying your beat, they don't care how much time you spent, how many dollars you spent. I just showed you guys I spent $400-something thousand on Facebook ads alone. Now, I did change that ad spend to work with my peers. I said, why are we paying to compete against each other on Facebook? Why don't we just work directly? I thought that was way smarter. So I changed my marketing strategy from 2016 to 2017. Also, the arbitrage opportunity was gone because everybody and their mom knew about Facebook marketing. So if everybody and their mom knows, you don't have an advantage anymore. So I switched the platforms, switched my strategy. Okay. So yeah, but nobody cares though how much time you spent on something. They don't care. That doesn't increase the value. How many beats did you sell? Again, work with, I already went over this. The artist is buying a product to sell at a higher profit, for a higher profit. So we all upload beats. How do we sell that story that you mentioned? That's why I made a video, talked about how to be a music producer in 2024. You have to. It's not a must, it's not a maybe. You have to be a content creator in 2024. With AI coming out, everybody can copy all the information online through AI. I can go to OpenAI right now and find out anything I want on the planet, including illegal stuff. Okay. So if I can go to OpenAI to get all of the information, that means information, okay, is completely diluted. And so the only thing that creates contrast within information is experience, storytelling. Like I said, what separates a Pokemon card from a Yu-Gi-Oh card, from a Magic card, Magic the Gathering card, from a random person who just put a card game together? It's the storyline. What made Pokemon crazy? The story, the anime that they showed. Then you wanted the Pokemon cards. They didn't just want the Pokemon cards. They watched it on TV. They were like, wow, that's cool. Here's a Pokemon card. It's a product of the story. Yu-Gi-Oh! The same way. It was a great anime first. Then the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards became a huge thing. Magic the Gathering, I'm not sure if they actually had an anime, but they had a storyline around it. They had characters. They had, there's a hero's journey to it all. It's a story. So if you don't have a story moving into 2024, you're going to be washed away with the AI and the information out there because there's too much right now. Back in 2001, pardon me, when the internet first started, there were very few websites. Now, if I had to figure out how many websites, I would say in the billions, if I had to guess, or hundreds of millions of websites. My point in saying that is nobody's going to stumble across your website ever. The probability is against you in that case. And so you have to stand out from the noise. How do you create something that stands out from the noise? You resonate. When I go like this, BusyWorks beats, that S is very noisy. But if I go BusyWorks beats and I resonate to a specific frequency, AKA a story, AKA a value set, AKA something that can resonate with somebody else because they've lived it through experience, that's when you resonate into a frequency that stands out from tss. You don't want to be tss, part of the noise. The millions of people who upload every day, you want to have a story that resonates. Problem and solution. Always share your story because that is the differentiate. That's what separates a sine wave from white noise, for example, for those who understand sound design. What's up, long time no see? Mel making history. Thank you. You got to delete the stream or it's going to be on your channel. I will keep the stream up because I think you guys need this information. Can you sell beats with cracked software? You can. Who's going to know? Like, let's just get that fear out your head. The Believers Records, whenever I create a beat, I use the same similar drum patterns without even thinking about it. Therefore, most of my beats sound the same. It doesn't matter. Hopefully you're getting this one lesson today. And I don't want to beat y'all down with this information. You're not selling the beat. Okay? You're not selling the product. You're selling a desired outcome. The beat itself does not matter. Again, you could look at any murder beat, any metro beat and be like, I could make that beat in 5 minutes. I can make better beats in 5 minutes. It doesn't matter that your beat is better. That's not what you're selling. You're selling a desired outcome of wealth, social status, mastery, or mating and fitness in survival of genetics. That's what you're selling. You're not selling the beat. Until you understand that concept, you're always going to stay stuck trying to make the beat better. It doesn't matter about the beat. If it doesn't lead somebody to a desired outcome, you're not even making a better product. Okay, so, when people say, this is another objection, like BusyWorks beats, no, listen to your beats suck. I go, okay, a gourmet chef says that about McDonald's every day. McDonald's sold billions and billions of hamburgers. So who's winning? The dude who's making the top chef gourmet burger in his basement where nobody knows him, or McDonald's who's serving billions around the world? McDonald's figured it out. It's not their version of what's the best meat and the best hamburger and the best sauce. It's what does the customer want? That's the best. Doesn't matter what quality means to you. What does the customer think is the best? How do you serve them and guide them to their desired outcomes? That's what the best is. Okay. That's how people who are super dumb are super rich, and you have people who are super smart, super poor. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving. You have a lot of questions here. I have a presentation today because we want to stay on focus. So I asked this question a while ago. What is a beat? You guys answer with your definition of what a beat is, but I told you there's 4 motivators for what people are actually buying. Now, the next thing I want you guys to think about your beats as is ad inventory for YouTube. I want you guys to upload to YouTube because on YouTube, you can actually monetize people listening to your beat. And it's considered a platform where people would browse as well. So in this case, upload the beat, even if it's just the beat by itself, or upload it into content, get paid by advertisers buying for that ad inventory. So part of your beat that you upload to YouTube is not the beat. You're selling ad inventory for the YouTube marketing system. For people like myself who want to market on YouTube or Google, I want to buy ads and I want to target artists who you cater to. Now I want to get in front of those people. I say, here's a $500 budget, YouTube. Put me in front of all the artists that, so-and-so beats caters to. And now I get right in front of so-and-so's beat. So you're selling ad inventory more than you're selling a beat, right? At least in the beginning stages of YouTube. Understand that first. And then you'll learn how to monetize beyond the transaction, the immediate $50 for the beat. That's how you start to think, how do you multiply the value of your beat beyond just trying to sell one more beat, one less beat? Okay. And I asked you guys, what do you buy when you buy an ad? An advertisement is technically something that doesn't exist. You're buying the motivation of wealth. You're trying to turn $1 into 4. I went over the definition of promotion versus marketing versus advertising. Let me quickly just go back to that graph because I didn't give you guys the definition for advertising. So promotion is the x-axis, okay? This is when you push something over time to get reach, views, and to be seen. That's the only outcome for promotion, is to be seen, to get more views or get more reach. The goal of promotion is not sales. I want to make that extremely clear. There is no money directly correlated to promotion. Now, marketing is when you raise the value of something. It does not mean to sell anything. We're still not even at sales yet. Marketing means to raise the value of something. How do we do this? We associate our thing with stuff of higher social status or higher utility. You associate your thing with those specific values, keywords, or people or products. That's what marketing means, to raise the value of something. It takes the $3 beat to $300 based on how you associate those things with other people or other opportunities, whatever the case may be. Now, advertising is figuring out the consensus within the market. Because again, talking to the chat, I realized, who was it here? I forgot that fast, forgive me. Andres, for example, he's not a wealth motivated person. Remember, his question was, he said, so basically selling music to brands is better economically, but what about the satisfaction of getting a top tier artist on your beat? So if his satisfaction comes from working with a top tier artist, his motivation is not wealth. So the value of this, my communication to this person, if I just promoted, hey, this beat, you flip it, you buy it for $1, flip it for $4, it's not really going to be super high value by Andres in that case because he's not money motivated. He's motivated by social status. Okay, so my point is you're going to have different consensus based on different perspectives. I could look at a bird in the sky and say, wow, look at that beautiful creature God created. Another person could look at a bird in the sky. They may have had a history with birds and they're scared of them. So they say, look at that demon flying around. It's 2 different perspectives. But the consensus is that that's a bird, okay? I could look at a vase. I think the vase is cool. It reminds me of Jameson's album, and I think it's worth $200. Another person walks by the vase. They think it's part of their grandma's furniture. They're like, I think it's worth $5. We both agree that that vase is worth $5. I believe that it's worth $200. The other person believes that it's worth, 20? I forgot the exact number. I said $5. But we both agree that that vase is worth $5. Okay, so that's what consensus is when you're advertising. You need to find a ground floor of where people perceive the value of your thing because that's how you can measure how much profit you're going to make. Okay, profit margin. So that's a little more advanced. I will be honest, that's not for everybody. Black Spider says, I don't care who buys my beats, just want to make the money. And he's a wealth motivated person in that case. So let's quickly go over what is money. I'll be really short about this. Is in Ill-Made Beats says professional yapper. And this is the person that has so much whatever against BusyWorks Beats that they can't even accept the truth. I could read about somebody I completely disagree with, read their book, get a different perspective. I can read another book, get a different perspective, read a third book, get a different perspective. I synthesize my perspective based on that. I used to hate Young Thug's music until I heard Check. Then I was like, wow, Young Thug is dope. I used to hate, I'm trying to think. There's another artist I used to hate the sound of. It's slipping my mind. But the people who I used to hate the music of, oh, was it Playboi Carti? I used to hate the sound of that Playboi Carti Vamp album. I was like, what are y'all listening to? Then I heard it in a car and I fell in love with some of the beats on there. So hate can turn into love real quick. So when people have these things that are just emotionally based, understand that emotion can change. Anything that can dissolve can be changed, including the human body, including the human brain. It can all be changed. So emotion is nothing but a spectrum of either they hate you or they love you, but you're still in that same linear line and you can move people from over here to over here very quickly. I've done it many times. Because the number one thing you want to do with people who, I'll say, hating on you, you want to prove them wrong through concrete evidence and analysis. And that's what I've done in this whole presentation, is give you nothing but evidence about my credentials. So let me clear my throat real quick, and then I'll get into this next part. All right, so let's talk about what is money. Money is, now back in the day, I'm trying to think of two things I have. Here's a box of tissues that I probably need to clear my nose with. And here's this little thing for my microphone. Random pieces, but whatever. So back in the day, person A would have this thing right here. They're like, man, I have a surplus of these. I made so many that I actually made more than I needed. So they have these little screw things. And person B is like, man, I actually bought too many tissues, or I have too many tissues from whatever. I don't know. Maybe their family was sick and they bought a bunch of tissues or traded for a bunch of tissues. So person A, back in the day of bartering, would have to say, hey, do you need tissues? And the person B would say, yeah, I need tissues. And the person B would go, hey, I have these little bolt things for your studio. Do you need it? And person A is like, yeah, I do. So they would trade, assuming that the value was either equal or greater to both parties. Now, that's the old school way of what money is, because that's called bartering. And what I'm going to teach you is the art of what is money. If you guys want to get money, you have to know what it is. Almost cursed. You have to know what money is. So that's called bartering. Now, over time, we're like, okay, person A lives next to person B, but the problem is they don't always need these little bolt things. They have enough for their studio, but they still want to trade for the tissues. So they're like, look, person B, later in the year, I'll have more microphones in because I'm building them right now. But later in the year, I'll have more microphones. But he's like, my family needs tissues right now. So I'll give you this little piece of paper called an IOU. And he takes this, what's called a note or promissory note. He takes the note, or an IOU basically, and he says, hey, I'll give you this IOU for my future microphones that I'll have done in probably 2 months if you just give me those tissues right now, because my family needs the tissues. They go, okay, cool, I trust you. And they trade the IOU for the tissues. Now, what is this piece of paper? It's nothing but a promise. In fact, it's a debt, because now this person owes the microphones that they're going to make in the future to person B, or whoever the person was that had the tissues. So now it's saying, hey, in the future, I'm going to pay you off over time. But that person just gave up what's called a real asset for this IOU, this promise. Okay. So I'm explaining what money is right now. So now when you have more people in your society, you have a bigger system, you have a village, everybody starts to trade these promises. So now it's getting a little complex. You probably need something on the screen, but whatever. So now person A trades their tissues for a promise of microphones. Okay. Now the person with the promise goes to the marketplace and they say, hey, I'll trade you my promise for microphones for your promise of chicken, because they want to eat. So they're like, okay, cool. I want a microphone for my studio. That's cool. I'll trade you for your promise for chicken. They trade the promises. Now we have derivatives. This is where the derivative market comes into play, because these are symbols of real assets or real services or real promises over time. And now we are beginning to trade promises. Trade debts, technically speaking. These are technical debts somebody owes, these pieces of paper. So when you're stacking up paper, you're stacking up something that somebody owes, IOUs, that's it. You're not stacking up a real asset with paper. The paper's point is to buy the ultimate end goal. And my point is, when people are coming to you with this paper, this IOU, they want to buy your asset to get them closer to the end goal. That's the point of that piece of paper. It's your job as a business owner, beat maker, artist, whatever, to take that piece of paper, this IOU debt, and then convert it into a real asset, because this is nothing but a promise that somebody else will owe you something over time. That's what money is. I know I made it a little complex. I'll probably have to make a little graphic about it. But first, if you don't understand what money is, which is a debt instrument, an IOU, you're never going to understand what it's used for. What is money used for? People use this money, this medium of exchange, to buy their ultimate end goal. Like I said, if my ultimate end goal is tissues, I'm going to trade until I trade this for some tissues. Okay. So you have to communicate how your thing is leading someone to a desired outcome, is my point. Because they're not buying nothingness. They're not buying an IOU. They're buying a desired outcome. They're trading for a desired outcome. Next thing you guys need for sales, this is my cousin Tupac now. Next thing you guys need for sales is a conviction. You have to truly believe in your soul, in your self-image. You have to identify and embody what you're actually providing to the market. You have to be convinced that your thing is the actual solution for somebody, that you have to believe that. Okay. Now I could tell you what to charge for your beats all day long. If you don't believe it, you will reject it. There's a song by Kanye West called Father Stretch My Hands. It doesn't mean Father stretch my hands like this. It means Father literally widen my hand so I can receive more from you. That's what it means. And until you build the vehicle to receive more, you will not receive more. Okay. In your business. Now, what does that mean? If somebody has a small store in the city and it's like, 20 by 20 and they're trying to make millions of dollars a year, impossible, improbable, because they don't have hands big enough to receive 1 million. In order for them to get to 1 million, they may need to open up other shops that are 20 by 20 or open up a bigger shop that's 200 by 200 in order to keep stretching that hand in order to receive what they're asking for. So a lot of you guys have these small 20 by 20 metaphorical businesses wanting millions of dollars, and your hand is not metaphorically stretched big enough for that. Your operations aren't stretched to handle that type of flow, the type of cash flow. I'll tell you one mistake, that not even a mistake, but something I've learned spending over $400,000 on Facebook ads alone, is that yes, you could dump money into ads, you'll make a return on investment potentially. Now this is this is earlier when Facebook actually had an advantage point. You may make a return on investment, but the problem is this is just the front end of a business. And this is what everybody keeps harping on. They think that business is just this make money machine and that's it. You have to deal with customer support. You have to deal with product development, product research. You have to figure out how to differentiate your products from other people. There's a lot that goes into business, way more than just content and buying ads. That's great. But again, you could spend $2,000 a day like I used to, okay, on ads, and then have 200 customers a day emailing you or 200 people inquiring about something. If you can't process those 200 emails within that day, by tomorrow, there's going to be 400. If you can't process the 400 by the second day, the next day it's going to be 600. You're now 600 emails behind because you didn't have a system built to receive the energy that you're going out into the market to grab. And my point is, if your shop is 20 by 20, if you're thinking small, if you don't have email systems in place, DM automations, ways to use heuristics to siphon out customers from non-customers, if you don't have that built, you're going to actually collapse your business by scaling too early. I used the metaphor earlier. I said, organic content is like going from 0 to 60 on Need for Speed and then going from 60 to 100. And then the car starts shaking and you kind of hit your limit at 100 miles an hour on Need for Speed Underground 2. And then you use your nitrous and the nitrous takes you from 100 to 150. Now you're really rocking, going to 150. Now the mistake a lot of people make, they try to hit their NOS right away. They try to hit their nitrous right away from 0 to 60. And now they're out of nitrous. And now they're stuck going 100. And they're wondering why ads don't work. It's because you used your money too early. You thought you could buy your way into scaling. And that's not how it works, especially when you don't have deep pockets like these institutions out here. So I'm trying to break the paradigm that you guys have in your mind, thinking that money, just when you spend it, you're just going to magically make money. No, there's people who lose money every day in the stock market, the same way you could lose money in the advertising market. So money does not make money. That's a very false correlation that I want you guys to break mentally. Now, I talked about conviction. I talked about answering objections is the number one thing you need to do in your business, especially when nobody knows you. You need to falsify the fears of your audience. So one of the fears some people said, on here is like professional yapper. Okay, that's an objection. He's saying all I do is talk. I'm just a professional at talking. I go, okay, I'm just a professional at talking. That's why my students, I've trained 1 million producers around the world. Actually, I forgot to show you some stats here. You're not talking to an uncredited person. Here's my YouTube stats alone. Okay, so 180 million on YouTube views on YouTube. That's just YouTube. And I deleted like many millions to clean up the channel a while ago. 1.1 something million subscribers thanks to you guys sharing. And then it made however much it made through advertisements on Google Ads partner program. So shout out to them. They've been a blessing. Now that's because I've stretched my hand to serve a lot of people. I have the systems now to serve more and more people. So when I'm going to the creator asking for more, I need to make sure that I have everything that I need in place before I ask for more. I need to build and stretch before I ask to receive. If my hand is this small, I can't receive a boulder. I need my hands to be super wide to be a boulder, to catch a boulder. Because with business comes responsibility. Another thing I want to break is the myth of that you need some kind of beat player to sell beats. Go to Amazon right now and look up the albums of the year, whatever. Does this look like a beat player to you? No, it looks like a Shopify store. Okay, so sometimes you guys are presenting your products like everybody else, and that's why you're seen as just the noise. Now, when you click on here to play the actual thing, it loads up Amazon Music, and then it looks like a playlist. So I would look at Amazon as far as selling. They've sold the most products probably out of every company in the history of companies. So if there's anybody to model about selling stuff online, it's Amazon. They figured it out. All right, so there was a lot to show you, and I completely forgot what the next thing was. So let me read the chat real quick and get back on track. Oh, objections. That's what I was talking about. But before I get to the objections, let me handle this chat real fast. I joined too late, so I'm asking. Queso says, so when should you use your money to promote? When you feel like you can't go any further with organic content, then you push that organic content to the next level you scale it, what it's called. So again, if your content has blown up to a certain point and it stops moving, then you want to put ads behind it because you're being limited by the algorithm's governor system. And I talked about that earlier. Okay, so that's when you put money into it, when you realize you can't push it any further. But it has to be pushed to a certain point. You're not going to push something at 0 views. You want to push something that has 1 million views, 100,000 views, then you push. Okay, so it depends on the platform. It depends what your 100% is. Somebody's talking about DL says copyright register with a PRO, BMI, or ASCAP, sign a split sheet. That's the technical. We're talking about how do you convince people to even get to exchange money with you to even buy a song to even get to that point. That's a secondary point. That's not going to generate anything in this conversation. I'm not saying, I want to say thank you for the information. What I'm trying to demonstrate with this presentation is that people focus on the minutia. Like signing up for BMI is not going to sell you more beats. It's not. So what's the best place to sell music? There's no best place. I want you to go rewind this live stream and really study this live stream because there's no one medium. There's no one platform. It all changes. It all moves over time. The goal is to continuously bring traffic to your business through all the arbitrage opportunities out there. And that's going to change the same way when you plant a garden, one plant could grow super fast and then it stops growing. Then another plant grows super fast, then it stops growing. You got to figure out which plants are growing super fast and sow your seeds and put your focus of water onto that plant, metaphorically speaking. Which favorite website to use to sell products? There is no favorite website. Okay, that's amateur thinking. BWB, economics graduate. My professor uses this example. Dope. So let me get into some objections. Let me show you guys how do I do this? I forget what program I use. Give me a second to figure out the program. I want to say it's called, here it is. Okay, so I took notes. So you guys know Weaver Beats. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know Weaver Beats. Because let me see something. What I'm going to do, let me see I forgot how to do the screen mirror. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to show you is my actual notes. So one thing you learn, because firstly, you have to get through the revision process. And when you refine your product, wait, did I click the right one? When you refine your product, that's how you will become a better salesman. So let me get through showing you how haters are your greatest revision process. If this thing would work. If it doesn't work, no worries. I'll just go to the video itself. All right, we're just going to go to the video itself. So let me show you guys in real time. Now, when you're at the top of top of your game, I should say, you're going to have people who envy you. That's just the nature of being a king. People are going to hate you just for no reason, just because your face is on TV. They just hate being reminded that they haven't tapped into their full potential, or they can't because they feel restricted by somebody else. So let me go to a Weaver Beats video, not to stir up any drama, just to show you that I learn from people who have completely opposing views than me. So apparently I appeared in a Weaver Beats video. Let me see here. But what I take from these videos is not opinion. Here it is. Give me a second. It's loading up. Let me switch screens. All right, so imagine this times a million every single day. So Weaver Beats is only one of the few people who try to constantly find flaw in everything, which is fine. And then there's this other person doing a video in his video. So he's reacting to a video critiquing me about their video or something like that. Their video critiquing me about my video, whatever. It's like it's a reaction to a reaction to a reaction type of thing. So I went through the comments and I'm just going to read. Actually, let's read top comments first. And the lesson I'm trying to teach you here is that one thing is to understand you're going to have people who just hate you for no reason. Another thing is to understand how to extract from the hate. Haters are actually more valuable than you think. Okay. So this one says, do you think he walks around his town with that Beatmaker shirt on, smiling, thinking every single person envies him and thinks it's just the coolest thing ever? So this is partly emotion because they're taking something that is arbitrary, my hoodie, not even the message that I'm talking about. Okay, my hoodie, and it stands out to them as something they want to bash. But it showed me that this is the thing they focused on. I used to think the Beatmaker hoodie was irrelevant, and I thought you guys were just like saw it as run-in-the-mill merch, but apparently that stood out to 43 people, including this person. So I go, okay, maybe I need to wear the Beatmaker hoodie more. If that's the thing that this person remembered is the Beatmaker hoodie, I need to wear it more. So I'm taking notes like, okay, wear the Beatmaker hoodie more. That's what stood out to these people. Even though they're haters, technically, it stood out to them. And I need to do things that stand out, create contrast. You know, think about this. Skater culture. What's a skater brand? Somebody help me in the chat. Like Thrasher. I don't know all the skater brands now. Supreme. You know, if I'm wearing Thrasher and Supreme and that's my identity to be a rebel skater and to be against culture as a counterculture, I don't want culture to accept my culture. I want to be counterculture. So for example, if I'm a skater and I identify as a skater, the value of contrast is super important. You need to learn how to reject people who should not be in that culture or that value set. So for example, if elderly people started wearing Thrasher shirts and Supreme, you'd be like, it's corny because now everybody's wearing it. It looks like Old Navy now. And it loses the identity as the rebellious Thrasher brand. So sometimes your brand building has to completely repulse another community. And that's what I try to do is repulse the people who I can't serve, won't serve, or they're just not the best customer for me. Okay. Primitive, Thrasher, Vans. How'd I forget Vans? Nike SB, Primitive. I don't know Primitive. Thank you though. What's Nike SB? I wonder what that is now. So my point is, in marketing, you need to learn how to create contrast by rejecting. It doesn't mean purposely get on people's nerves. It means if you're not pushing hard enough to create a self-identity that somebody doesn't resonate with, you're not going to complete the opposite, which is that you're creating a self-identity that somebody does resonate with. So hopefully I'm making sense there. So if you don't see repulsion, it means you're not resonating. You're not finding that story, that experience, that frequency that somebody wants to identify with as themselves, that self-image. Okay, or the value set that somebody wants to identify with. Oh, skateboarding. Okay, SB skateboarding. Duh, I would have never thought that. Okay, so Donderson says, busy is a genius. He hasn't exploited a gold rush by selling shovels. It's more complex. He has no shovels. He's managed to sell the idea of shovels to people who think shovels are fabled mystical items. So in this case, he's saying that I'm telling you how to sell beats because there's some magical market that doesn't exist on how to sell beats. When I just gave you an example, we work with a million producers around the world. Some want to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Lil Baby, YG. I already said French Montana, J. Cole, on and on and on. Kendrick. I'm missing so many people that I'm forgetting. So when people say that I'm selling a shovel as if I'm selling a get rich quick scheme, this is a completely free live stream. And there's stuff on the other side. And it depends on those four motivations. Are you money motivated, wealth motivated? Are you mating motivated? Are you social status motivated? Are you mastery motivated? Most of the people I serve are mastery motivated. I don't approach the market with a, hey, watch this video. You'll learn how to sell 1 million beats this year. Watch how to mix this 808. You'll sell 10 more beats this year. That's not my message. I've never truly dug into that marketing because my audience does not They're not wealth motivated. They're mostly mastery motivated. So for him to say this is actually incorrect. So you can't prove that. Famous Army Studios says, imagine wearing a shirt, the word painter, if you love to paint at home, or yodeler if you yodel at home in your bedroom. So he's talking about, again, the thing that's sticking out mostly in this video is the Beatmaker hoodie. So I go, okay, where's my Beatmaker hoodies? I need to have 10 more. Dylan, can you please send them over? You know, your Beatmaker hoodies from Producer Grind. Because this clearly is the thing that is standing out. So hopefully you're getting the lesson from what I just showed you guys, is that you need to go and receive critique and learn how to extract the gold that's in the dung most of the time. Now, the dung metaphorically is emotional speaking. You can't do anything with emotions. That's going to change. It doesn't matter. Now, what you can take out, the gold you could take out from haters, is the concrete things that they either paid attention to or the things they ask you to revise. So I'm trying to figure out where in this they show me to revise stuff. But it says, imagine wearing a shirt, okay, with painter. Actually, funny enough, the Beatmaker hoodie, when I went to the gym back in another state, I actually came across another producer. He was like, oh, you are Busy Works Beats. They're not unsure to approach you. So now you have an opportunity that you would never have, because now they know it's for sure you. Somebody was driving by. I was walking my son outside. Somebody was literally driving by. He said he turned around because he noticed my Beatmaker hoodie and he was like a big fan or whatever. So sometimes you need identifiers to show that it's you. So that's a side note. All right, when you make instrumental music, you're an artist. Okay, whatever. All social media is interruption based. Interrupts your thoughts. Great. He knows so very little, but hey, he makes up for it in confidence. So this is funny enough. These are emotional words. You know, you can't quantify knowing little. First thing a wise person says is that we know nothing at all, because there's so much to learn. Okay, so a lot of people didn't even understand the analogy of Circuit City. So you can only do but so much with the haters. But the point is, extract the gold out of the hate. Okay, you don't need to be afraid of the hate. You need to understand where you need to correct. Take the facts and either go back and correct with the feedback, or take the facts and extract that and double down on what's resonating with those people. The emotions, you can't do anything with emotions. You can't build off emotions. That's like building a house on sand. You cannot build on emotions. Emotions are the bridge you use to transact. That's about it. You can't build on that, however. All right, so let me show you. Let me continue my little presentation that I had for you guys. Hold up a second. So let me see how much I got left. Here's some mindset shifts. So keywords that you guys are asking, which keyword is the best? Think of it like stocks. You want to buy stock low, sell high. So if Yeet, now before Yeet blew up, you would invest your time into Yeet Beats. Okay, because Yeet is underground. He's about to blow up. He's an all-star. He's just not there yet. So you invest your time and your energy into making those products and those things that stand out from the market, because when he does become popular, the value, the y-axis that I talked about, the marketing value of your beat goes from the metaphorical $3 to $30, because now you've positioned to receive the wave of energy that's about to come through, the traffic that's about to come through. So that's how you should think about keywords, not which keyword is right, not which keyword is wrong. And please do not listen to these YouTubers telling you to niche down and do one keyword or one type beat for your entire channel. You will be stuck forever. That's kind of like the person who only invests in Tesla and that's it, or the person who only invests in Apple and that's it, or the person who only invests in Bitcoin and that's it. So if you only invested in Bitcoin, let me show you guys something. Bitcoin is one of the world's greatest assets right now. But let me show you the I'm showing you this so you can have a greater mindset, not to teach you stock trading. Okay, I want to be very specific. This is not financial advice by any means, but I want to show you guys a metaphor you need to understand. So if you only invested in Bitcoin, let's say you bought in at 50K when it was popular, and all you do is buy Bitcoin. So you bought in at 50K thinking it was going to go to the moon, and then it crashed at 3,200. You just lost whatever the difference is in percentage. You went from 50K down to 32, metaphorically speaking. Okay, so you actually lost by investing in a niche or something that's so micro specific, because now you feel every change in the market. When you invest in only one keyword or only one thing, now if that keyword's not searched as much for that month, you too, your traffic now goes down to zero, because now you're going to follow the waves that come with that specific keyword. So when people tell you to follow a niche, you can go to Google Trends and look up that specific keyword. Let's look up Google Trends. So this is more tactics, but let's say you want to like Yeet type beat, for example. You could look at this like a stock chart. Okay, so we can say past, let's just say the entire lifetime of Yeet type beat. Now this is false because Yeet, actually, I think we were saying Yeet back then, but not type beat. So anything before like 2009 is probably false data. Actually, anything probably before 2013. I would say start counting this at about 2020. Let's say from 2020 to current day, whatever that is. So as you could, oh, my head's in the way. Hold up. Give me a sec. So as you can see right here, 2020 Yeet is going upward. So if you made Yeet beats back in 2020 when the pandemic was popping off, but you were tapped into the underground, you had a greater chance because you already had the supply for when the demand skyrocketed. So now you can benefit from the fact that now the excitement is going up for Yeet type beat and you bought in low and now you can sell high. Now the Yeet type beats crashed in 2022 of November as far as search volume, and now it's going downwards. This is a downward trend. It's not going up, it's going down, okay? It's petering out, as they say. So Yeet type beat is not something you want to invest in now because the trend is going down. Think of it like stocks. It's really that simple. Name some type beats in the chat real quick. Let's look up their charts. Little baby type beat. This is a popular one. So let's do like past 12 months because I think this is probably the greatest chart. Okay, so as you can see, little baby type beats is hit or miss. You know, as far as the excitement in the market, it's hit or miss. It depends on when he drops. I could probably correlate all the times that people are searching for this term for when Lil Baby dropped a project or a song. It's a spikes and then it crashes. Spikes, crashes. You want something that's either you spread your risk across different type beats as far as traffic goes, or you focus in on just maximizing these little spikes. But it's very hard, or you focus on something that's more consistent, I should say. Ken Carson type beat. Okay. Now, Ken Carson, I would think, is more of a producer search than it is an artist search. So you can see it only spikes probably when he drops some kind of song or project. This is not a consistent keyword. And if I looked up even more data about the keyword researching, I could probably show you guys even more stuff about that. So what I'm telling you guys is to focus on the data and spread your risk so that so when the market moves up and down for one keyword, you won't be hammered. You'll have another keyword that may trigger at a certain point. And you can now see everything's like in spikes. There's no consistent keywords. And this is why I said the market moves constantly. Weekend type beat. I don't know why I spelled weekend wrong. That's why. All right. So as you can see, spikes probably when his projects drop. So that's the narrative that you guys can study. You can dig deeper into keyword research with this tool called Ahrefs YouTube keyword tool. That's free. You could use vidIQ. I don't think I have. Let me see if I can log in real fast for y'all. Let me give you guys a little something that you shouldn't have. I know you guys don't have the paid vidIQ. I don't have paid vidIQ. I just found that I wasn't using it enough. But let me log in to at least show you some keyword research tools you could use. Now it is $50 a month, which is pretty expensive for a beginner. So this is probably pro level and above. I wouldn't recommend this for beginners. Let me go to the keywords real quick. And okay, so here's another tool called Ahrefs tool. I learned this from, Isotope, who is I don't even know how many millions they have, but Isotope won Emmys. They're an audio software company that's just huge. I learned this directly from Isotope. They use Ahrefs for their SEO and their marketing. So you could use their tool called the YouTube keyword tool, completely free. Type in whatever like weekend type beats or whatever type beat you're trying to go for. Find keywords, verify that you're a human, and then it will show you the actual traffic for that specific keyword. Now you have to also go to another thing called Google Keyword Planner. Now this is for more content creators, but you can use this as a quick, quick judgment tool as to how fruitful a market is. So I'm showing you guys where traffic comes from. So let's do Keyword Planner. Okay, and let's type in, what was it, weekend type beat? Actually, let's just type in the word type beat. Hit enter. So this is called keyword research. Where does the money come from? Money comes from attention. Money comes from solving problems from people who, give you attention. So the first step in this is learning where to grab attention from. It's like a river, Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so it says here, this is the actual search volume, which is not a lot for type beats. Now I'm going to give you vidIQ information here because they're a little more accurate. So let's do Yeet type beat. Okay, so it says search volume for this is Yeet type beat. Oh, here it is. Search volume for this is 2.5 million a month. I'm assuming this is in months. Competition, it says it's low, but truly we all know it's super high. Okay, that's Yeet Type Beat, 2.5 million searches a month. So you're competing when you put up a video for 2.5 potential hits for that keyword, you're competing for it. What's the probability you have of receiving the majority of those hits? How do you widen that hand? Like it says, Father, stretch my hand. How do you stretch your hand, metaphorically speaking? When you raise your brand awareness. That's what stretching that hand means. You're building trust with an audience to where you can now receive more of this traffic, because now you're contrasting against the noise, and people go with people they trust. When you go to Amazon, which product do you buy? The product with 1 review or the product with 30,000 reviews? You're going to go with the product that has 30,000 reviews. It's just based on human nature's ability to judge. We have to judge very quickly. And so we look for security signals, I'll say, what we're seeking. So my point in saying all this is that if you want to receive more of this volume, it's not to make more videos, it's to build more trust with the market, so that when you have those subscribers, when you have the trust with your audience, you're more likely to receive this 2.5. So it's not about tapping into a bunch of keywords. It's about building the trust with your audience first. That should be your key objective. Now let's work into, what was the other one? You said new jazz type beat. Let's see how many searches. 1.6 million views in the month for new jazz type beats. Let's type in Lil Baby type beat. 1.3 million. So Yeet is beating Lil Baby as far as search terms. My point in all this is you need to figure out, for all the people searching that, how do you differentiate yourself from the group? And we talked about that, all that. Okay. Also look into Google keyword research to tap into more opportunities, and the Ahref tool for just kind of making sure there's a consensus as far as market importance of that keyword. I'm running out of juice, y'all, but I'm gonna give you guys a couple more keys before I head out, because you guys have been so loyal to me. So this is me trying to show reciprocal energy back to you. Okay, money is life to people. You know, when you think about selling something, it's literal life. Like if somebody takes out their hard-earned dollar, goes to busyworksbeats.com/premium and gets a course or gets a sound package or a sounds vault at busyworksbeats.com/sounds, they're literally giving me a piece of their life force. This money correlates to life. This money correlates to your biological ability to survive by buying food, by protecting yourself, whatever it is that you need as a human. You take this money and you buy that. You exchange it for life. So quite literally, people associate money with life. And you have to demonstrate how this person can take this life force they're about to give you and transact with you to step into their future self. That's what they're buying. They're buying their future self. When I'm teaching 1 million producers how to make beats, they're buying their future self. They know that I've trained 1 million producers around the world who've gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, YG. I said Ariana Grande, Post Malone, if I didn't already say that, J. Cole, Kendrick, okay? They're saying, I want to be that person. I want to step into my future self. Here's X amount of dollars to step into their future self. They're giving me their life force. So they have to trust you with their life, quite literally, if you want to exchange money with these folks. Now, there's something in chemistry called the covalent bond. It's one of the strongest bonds in the entire universe, because when you study the universe, you ask what makes everything one, what makes everything distant or separate. And I'm not going to get esoteric like MG the Future, but we're going to get kind of deep today. So there's something called a covalent bond. I need to drink more water because my tummy is rumbling. Let me get on my knees, stretch my diaphragm a little bit. And I'm hungry. I didn't eat this morning, y'all. So bear with me. What was I saying that quick? I forgot. Oh, covalent bonds. So the nature of a covalent bond in chemistry is when one molecule gives up electrons of itself to another molecule, and that molecule B gives up particles of itself, electrons of itself, to the other molecule. So they're both sharing something of themselves in exchange for one another. An easier metaphor is think about a car. So for example, you live with someone and let's say they let you drive their car and you let them drive your car. That's a covalent bond because you have both given up something of yourselves so that the other party can use that. And this is also called symbiotic relationships as well. But my point is, in business and selling, you have to demonstrate how you are going to balance the transaction. People are not giving you something to give you upside and they get downside. Nobody trades that way. That's who wants to lose every day. They don't want to lose anything. First rule in investing is not to lose. They have to see an upside into transacting with you. Now, what does that mean? So think about it in very simple manners. I don't want to make this like complicated college level. What is the upside somebody gets from trading with you? This is called justification. We all want to balance out a transaction. So another thing about selling is when they go to buy your beat for $29.99, you have to also give a valid justification as to why this person will balance out the equation of giving you 30. What's the value that they receive? What's the upside that they receive? You have to demonstrate how they're spending 30 but getting $300 of value. That's called upside. Whenever value supersedes price, that's when you get exchange. Exchange does not happen, aka sales does not happen if you do not demonstrate that value is higher than the price or equal to the price. It has to be balanced. Okay, so similar to going to a bank and you give them what's called collateral. Let's say you want to go to a bank and borrow $1 million. Let's say your house is worth $1 million. You're going to say to the bank, hey, I'll use my house as collateral to borrow your $1 million. The bank is not giving you a free $1 million. They just traded you $1 million for your house. You gave up your house for the $1 million, technically speaking. It's called collateral. So the same thing when it comes to selling on your sales pages, you need to demonstrate that the $30 they're about to give you for your beat or 50 or whatever your price is, you need to demonstrate what value are they going to receive in exchange for the 30 that they just gave you, because they don't want to feel like the loser in the exchange. Okay, so you have to demonstrate that. It's called valid justification. It's required for sales, unless you force people into a sale, which is not technically selling. That's what people associate with selling. It's like the dirty car salesman who forces you to do something. That's not an equal exchange. And that's when people build resentment. And that's when you have a higher chance of what's called a refund or a chargeback, is when people don't feel like they've received enough value in exchange for what they gave up. And that's because you did not communicate how they're going to receive more and more value with your thing. Okay. There's so much I wrote here in my notes. Okay, we already talked about getting the keywords early, high risk, high reward. I'm running out of juice, y'all. I'm be honest. Probably hour 30 is my peak performance when it comes to live public speaking. Looks like I'm so bear with me as I finish these notes, and this will be up for live replay, so no worries. So I'm just gonna say a couple things. Niching down is dangerous. If you want to go from nicks to bricks, N-I-C-K, like Knicks on the corner, to bricks like Sosa, then you got to understand that higher risk, you need to have what's called risk diversification. I forget the exact term, but it means you need to spread your risk. So in the beginning, you're risking your time, you're risking your money, you're doing all these things and you're risking things. You need to learn how to lever up so that you don't take on the risk. That's for a higher business level, folks. You need to lower the risk. Sosa was not on the corner selling the packages of what he sold. I won't say what he sold in the movie Scarface, but Sosa was on an island somewhere in a helicopter. He wasn't touching the work. Scarface was the one on the street corner risking his whole life and his freedom because of Sosa. So you need to understand, to level up, it goes from high risk, minimum reward technically, to less risk, more reward, to even less risk, extreme reward. You need to learn how to level up without risking your time. And this is what I mean by detaching from time. I'm zooming out a little bit just so we could have like a part 2, but you guys have to start thinking like this. How do you get away from just selling your time? Selling beats, custom made beats one-on-one. How do you get away from selling studio time? How do you get away from selling time? That's risky. That's a risky transaction, because technically you're selling an IOU, or you're receiving an IOU from the other person, but you're giving them a real asset, aka your time. We talked about the trades earlier. I want you guys to ask who's buying beats. I want you guys to ask, why are they trading for beats? What's their ultimate outcome? And associate that outcome to your product and marketing. I have a lot more thoughts, but my brain is beginning to be sluggish and I need to eat something because I'm hungry. I appreciate you guys all for being here. If I changed your perspective, please like the video. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want, join us at busyworksbeats.com/premium. I'm actually going to create a sales course for you guys. I realize how important this is because I have really cool ideas. And in order for those ideas to hit maximum value, everybody has to be on the same page when it comes to sales. We can't have people on the team who are just like clueless. So I'm going to build out something pretty cool for you guys soon. And I just got to take the time to do it. That's just what it comes down to. And I need a key light so you guys could actually see me. I appreciate y'all for being here. I don't have any more to present today. I just wanted to thank you. What else is there? I guess subscribe. Oh, here's our Discord if you guys want to network with each other. We actually have a remix contest going on right now. I believe we found the next Michael Jackson. So if you want to enter that remix contest, hop in our Discord. Go to busyworksbeats.com/premium to master the craft. I sell mastery. If you want to be a master at your craft, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. If you're just worried about wealth, I could teach you a little bit about business building, but I'm not Mr. Wealth Guy. I teach you how to turn a dollar into 10. This is not what I do. If you want to learn how to get a mate, you'll learn at least how to play R&B scales to serenade your mate. That's what I'll promise. If you guys want to have what's the other motivation I said? Fitness, more health. You'll learn how to run your business so that you're not tied to killing yourself, working and selling your time. So thank you guys. How do you guarantee the results that you are selling? I don't guarantee it. Actually, let me read it word for word. So let me read it word for word. Because a lot of people are like, okay, am I going to work with Drake now that I've taken this course? And it's like, I'm not God. I don't dictate who works with Drake. But here's my disclaimer at the bottom of the page. It says, I cannot guarantee any placements, any success, or any outcomes, except that you will learn how to master your craft of music production. What you do with this knowledge is up to you and your desire. We have students who have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Lil Baby, Polo G, Young Thug, Trippie Redd, Kendrick, J. Cole. I forgot a lot of people. And lots of other top acts, but these are anomalies and rare cases. I have never and will never promise any success in the music industry. If you apply the knowledge, you will grow in your craft and in your business. However, I cannot guarantee any music industry major placements. So that is something I have to make very clear. There's no magic button. I can't make you successful. You have to want to be successful. How do you guarantee? Okay, so that's